In today's video, we are going to go to 3 different Vietnamese restaurants and each one has their own specialty. So the first one is really famous for banh mi. A lot of tradies go there and eat the banh mi there. And then the next one is the only place that I know on the Gold Coast that does a bún bò Huế. I ate it all the time when I was in Vietnam. It was my personal favorite. For the last place, it's a place that does very, very authentic Vietnamese cuisine and they have a really good, cheap pho. That's what I'm really excited for. But first place on the list is the banh mi. Miami hot bread in Miami. So I got the banh mi, crispy pork and a Coke, and also got a pho. Because why not? When you go to a Vietnamese place for brekkie, why not get a pho as well? I found a nice grassy spot to sit down and let's have a look at this banh mi. Oh my God. Okay. Wow, look at this. We've got crackle. We've got juicy pork. That is absolutely loaded. Coriander down the bottom. We've got fresh chili, healthy dose of some pate, all the pickled veggies. So the best way that I like to eat these, I'm gonna put it back in its little sleeve and I'm gonna flatten it down so it doesn't cut the sides of my mouth because this crusty bread can get a bit hazardous. By the way, they're like $2 in Vietnam. Here, this was 12. Still pretty good price for Australian standards for what you get as well.
Yes! That's awesome!
Wow. Oh my God. Tastes just like Vietnam. That's incredible. The pickled flavor from the veggies is so nice. Pate softens up that bread with the margarine. Pork is so juicy. Wow. Wow. That is up there and was one of the best I've had. Hands down. Even traveling through Vietnam, they have such a variety of different types of banh mi. Like you can get fried egg, tofu, just straight veggie, chicken. Pork's always the best way to go. And honestly, this rivals some of the ones that I did have in Vietnam. They have brought the best of the banh mi to the Gold Coast. Oh yeah, so this is the pho. We were there and it's breakfast time, so we decided to get one as well. And this is honestly the main thing about a good pho is a good broth. And that smells amazing. Oh, it smells so good. And now we're just gonna pour that straight over the top. Ooh, that comes pretty close. Look at that. I'll try some of the beef. It's not too salty, it's not too overpowering. It's a very nice, clean, clear broth. Would have been good to have some hoisin and some chili to dip in. We're gonna get the full experience later on. Oh wow, that ruined me already. I'm gonna have to take a nap. Oh. I just ordered a bún bò Huế and a Vietnamese iced latte. Is that it there?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. There it is. Nice. Cafe Suada. Oh my God. So the package is secured. It came in an Uber Eats bag and it says enjoy. We've come down here to the park and we're gonna find a nice picnic table to enjoy our bún bò Huế and Vietnamese iced latte. Oh my God, these things were so nice in Vietnam. I get one, I drink at least 3 a day. Probably built up the biggest caffeine tolerance because of it. But oh my God, it is just the best thing in the world. Let's have a look inside this bag of goodies. Wow, this is my first time having bún bò Huế in Australia. Look at that broth. That is hot. We got some serviettes. We got business card, homies, chopsticks, and wow. So when you look inside here, they've got red cabbage, coriander, we got some spring onions cut up, bean shoots, and if you can see that, So we've got pre-cooked beef, and then here we have raw beef. But as you can see, it's like really thinly sliced. So what happens is when I pour that broth over the top of this beef, it's gonna cook in the broth. And that is about as authentic as it gets. Seriously. If you bought this and you didn't know what was going on, you'd say, what the hell? You'd be like, why is there raw beef in my bowl? And like with raw meat juices going over everything, I'm telling you, this is gonna be amazing. So we'll see if we can see that actually as it cooks. Put the broth in, and then we can watch it with our own eyes as the meat cooks in the broth. Wow, look at the chili in that. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, let's pour it over this beef. See how it's changing color already? Don't want to overflow it. Look, it's already cooked. As soon as that hot broth hits that meat, bang, it's cooked. And what that does, like I know what the hell I'm even talking about, but I'm pretty sure it would just keep that meat as tender as possible and keep all the flavor of the meat itself intact. So let's go straight in. You saw it. Actually 10 seconds ago, that was raw. There's a bit of the bit that was already cooked. Woo! And that was that raw meat. Wow. Oh my God. Wow. That is as good as it gets. Seriously. You know when you're so full from eating something like that banh mi? I'm so full from that still. But then this just tastes so good, I want to eat the entire thing. It says that it's spicy, but it's actually not really very spicy at all. Dishes that I've had in the past that say they're spicy, this one's not very spicy. It's just got like a tinge to it. It's got a lot of lime flavor. It's very zesty. It's got a rich, salty, beefy broth to it that's very clean and very clear with chili oil to give it that little bit of a kick, but very citrusy, to be completely honest. It's like that Thai chili and lime sort of mix. So the biggest difference between this and a pho, I think pho means flat noodles and bun is the round noodles. And then bo is beef, and then Hue is the city of Hue, which I visited. I'll link a card up here and you can watch me go around and try bun bo Hue in Hue and other local dishes while I was there. Oh, that is absolutely delicious. If it was winter and raining and you could just get a bowl of this broth, oh my God. I don't think I can eat all this because we're still gonna go to a place which opens in about half an hour. Oh, I think it might be open now. By the looks of it, it's shut. Well, we just arrived. It didn't look very promising from the street. Not your normal Vietnamese place. But yeah, like I said, it's only open for 2 hours every day. And unfortunately, they're closed. But not to worry, we are on our way up the coast. And I know another really good, authentic place. And I've also eaten a lot of food for this hour of the morning anyway, so it might be good to give me time to digest some of the food that I've already eaten. So I'll see you up in the Big Smoke, Brisbane City. Okay, so we've come up to Brisbane. It's about an hour north of the Gold Coast, Australia's third largest city, and there's lots of Vietnamese places here. The one that I do know is just down the road, and it's pretty authentic. It's pretty, you know what they say, like the dodgier the place, the better it is. Yeah, so what we'll do, maybe we'll get a takeaway, and then we can go down to the bridge, the Story Bridge, or anywhere along the river, really. This guy here. I'll go in, I'll order takeaway, and then we'll walk down the river and we'll eat it down there. Okay. cool, yeah? We found a nice place to sit down with the Story Bridge behind us. And I stopped at an Asian grocery store. I wanted to get a beer, hanoi, a saigon or something, but they didn't have anything. So I got the next best thing, a Pocari Sweat. I miss these things so much. They have them all over Southeast Asia, in Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia. These things are the best. And also, I had a quick look in the bag on the way over here, and they didn't put in like a dipping sauce for me to dip it, you want to dip your meat, which I'm a bit disappointed in, but it's okay. We'll deal with what we have.
Wow.
Okay, so they didn't do what I thought they would, which is separate the broth from the meat and the veggies, which I'm a little bit disappointed in, to be completely honest. Like, the flavor of this better be insane, which I think it will be. It smells incredible.
It's nice.
Look at the broth, it's so just clean. Oh my God. How's that, dude? They did give us a lime wedge and some other veggies. I got some bean shoots and some basil to give that broth a little bit more flavor, and bean shoots for a bit more crunch. I'm not the biggest fan of eating this basil. I just like to let it get the broth, get that flavor into the broth. I'm a big fan of bean shoots though. So if you're coming to Australia, or you're in Australia and you've been to Vietnam and you think, I really want some good Vietnamese food, oh, I miss Vietnam, there are some really good places that serve some really good Vietnamese food in Australia. You know, there are a lot of chain restaurants that have expensive, pretty bland tasting, really just subpar Vietnamese food. You know the ones I'm talking about if you know. And yeah, just dig a little bit deeper. Go to those places that you probably wouldn't normally go to and try their food, because they're probably the most authentic and the best tasting ones in the market. For me today, the best was the Bun Bo Hue that I had on the Gold Coast for sure. If you like this video and you want to see more like this, or you want to see me in Vietnam eating real Vietnamese food, click on one of these videos here, and remember to sub to the channel for more in the future.
No, 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 no.